Welcome to Mock Draft Friday, and oh boy, we got a good mock draft for you. I am still a little bit under the weather from yesterday, so if this mock draft ends up sucking, just blame it on a sick brain. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. We got the first pick here with the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to take my top quarterback, Bryce Young. I know some people would be like, oh, dude, Frank Reich. No, he freaking absolutely loves CJ Stroud. We heard this same crap a couple of years ago when it came to Kyle Shanahan and Mac Jones. So, miss me with that. Miss me with that. We got the Houston Texans. So, this one's kind of obvious. We're going to go with CJ Stroud here. I mean, regardless, top two quarterbacks off the board, I think go here back to back. Whether you have Stroud Young or Young Stroud. Now, I haven't really played with a trade down scenario here for the Cardinals, to be fair. It's a little tough. But we are gonna do a trade down here with the Colts moving up, so they can kind of block off any teams that want to go through some shenanigans to get a quarterback in front of them, whether that's like the Seahawks, you could say the Lions, the Raiders, the Falcons. You make case for the Titans, who are there at 11. So Colts are like, yeah, no, we're not going to play that game. So they're going to basically give a similar package as was offered for Mitch Trubisky when the Bears moved up a spot ahead of the Niners. So it was very similar to this. So we're going to go ahead and send that trade through. We're going to move back. The Seahawks are the other team that I was like, oh man, dude, I would love to jump up here and actually snag Anthony Richardson for the Seahawks. And just because knowing Geno, it could be a 1-year deal, it could be a 2-year deal. I know it's a 3-year contract, but you could really cut him. There are a variety of different spots there. And knowing you're probably not going to be drafting this high again, or at least it's very unlikely. It's just, what kind of business would the Cardinals and the Seahawks be able to do there in the top 5? That's the big question. Anywho, we got Coach Shane Steichen, believe is how y'all told me it's pronounced. But he's gonna go ahead and take his new Jalen Hurts in the form of Anthony Richardson, which means, hey, Cardinals, we're gonna go ahead and take Will Anderson here. Call it call it a day. Be like, all right, we got some draft picks. We didn't exactly leave pick 3 empty-handed. Is it an ideal haul? No, but it's a good haul nonetheless. We got the Seattle Seahawks. I don't think Levis. I mean, Anthony Richardson's just got elite physical tools. Like, Levis has got some high-end tools himself, but I feel like I'd rather risk Richardson tools than go with Will Levis here. I'm going to go ahead and just snag Jalen Carter. I know some people are either really hate the pro day, you hate the whole off-draft season process, you're like me, where it's like, man, those 2 years of film were pretty darn good. Also, where his teammates, his coaches talked really good about him and his locker room etiquette. But I think he kind of becomes that last piece of the puzzle there for the Seahawks, who just released Al Woods. They don't have like a natural zero tech or a guy that roams around that A gap. So Jalen Carter could come in and do that. The Detroit Lions, this is one I've talked about. Oh, man, cornerback would make so much sense. Christian Gonzalez, or even Devon Witherspoon. Really depends on whoever your cup of tea is. Emmanuel Mosley, 1-year deal. You got Jeffrey Okudah. He's actually, they didn't pick up the 5th-year option, so he's a free agent after next season. But instead of going with corner here, I'm going to go with Tyree Wilson. That way, they kind of sure up the edge spot there. You got Wilson, Hutchinson, and then James Houston comes in as his DPR, designated pass rush type of option. And you could always kick in Tyree Wilson. He's got a very flexible body, or versatile, I should say. So we're going to just grab a different name here for the Detroit Lions. Okay, we got the Las Vegas Raiders, and I'm actually just going to go with the top corner here. The cornerback room is not good. Christian Gonzalez helps it out mightily. Atlanta Falcons, I'm kind of not sold, but I'm real tempted with the connections between, was it Dave Huxtable of the Falcons and who's the DC's name from Illinois? It's Avery something. Illinois DC Avery. Well, let's just go with DC. It's Aaron Henry. I said Avery. I'm combining Aaron and Henry. But Aaron Henry, the DC, and and you got Huxtable, who all worked together back in NC State. So just kind of like connecting dots maybe when it comes to this pick. So we're going to go ahead and take Devon Witherspoon to the Falcons. I don't mind them going corner here. I still think pass rush is on the table. But, I mean, much like corner, this is a very deep edge class as well. So they could go edge in the second round if they want to. All right, the Bears. I've experimented with multiple spots for Bijan Robinson. Yeah, that's right, guys. I don't think I've experimented with him at this pick 9 spot yet. So we're going to go ahead and do it. We got Dante Foreman. I give 2 craps. Bijan Robinson, one of the best running back prospects come out in quite some time. Maybe they're very content with how their offensive line is starting to shape. Maybe they're cool with Taven Jenkins taking up the right tackle mantle. They go ahead. They get the bruiser in Bijan Robinson. All right, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I didn't really like much that was available for this Eagles pick. And I was like, you know what? Probably a trade down works the best. So we went ahead and did that. So the question was, who do we trade with? And ultimately, like, oh man, Tampa Bay would make sense, but I already did that. I want to do something a little different. So after DJ's mock draft, Daniel Jeremiah, by the way, if you didn't know, where he had the Vikings taking Hendon Hooker in the first round, well, let's just have them move up. Apparently, they've done their due diligence on this quarterback class. I think this is about what I've seen in terms of potential trade value for them to move up. Basically, they swap first. They give first next year and a third this year. Honestly, might end up being more than that, but we'll see. Oh shoot, you know what? We could probably throw in Jordan Hicks. Why wouldn't they be interested with that? Don't y'all got a linebacker problem? All right, so that's the trade there for the Vikings to move up. And let's go ahead, switch screens. Let's go ahead and draft our player, Will Levis. Man, if they've done the due diligence on this quarterback class, maybe they really like Will Levis. No longer will they be strapped to freaking Kirk Cousins' contract again. On this day, they break free from the restraints. All right, another thing I liked about, I think it was Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft as well. I'm not positive about it. Could have been Mel Kiper's, but I do like the idea of the tight ends going with the receiver instead. Because, I mean, they brought in pieces that their home and work out on the offensive line. They need talent at the receiver position. Jackson Smith and Jigba, cool. They could get another separator here. My question is Treylon Burks, do they intend to play him on the outside, or is he a guy maybe they kick back into the slot because he was heavily utilized as a slot player at Arkansas? Well, I think then we just get Quentin Johnston, who's my top wide receiver in this class. You get a guy who can create after the catch, very fast at turn upfield, and he's liable for the home run, like a home run ball here and there, man. So, big fan of Quentin Johnston. Which means, actually, I kind of like this idea. Since we snagged CJ Stroud here for the Houston Texans, I'm going to go ahead and snag Jackson Smith and Jigba for the Texans as well. Pair up my quarterback with his former wide receiver. They have they've already given away Brandon Cooks. They have Robert Woods. Oh man, who else they got going on there? They got Noah Brown, but that's depth. Let's be honest, boys and girls, that's depth. They have Nico Collins, John Mechie. Yeah, I don't think really any of those guys are stopping me from trying to get better at the receiver position. So, yeah, we grabbed a quarterback or a receiver to pair up with our quarterback, and I feel really good about that. Talking about feeling really good, I'm sorry that offensive tackle seems to be such a lazy pick here to the New York Jets. It's just the one that makes the most sense, especially if I get my boy. Where you at? I don't know why you're so low, but Paris Johnson. If you haven't seen, I did my offensive tackle rankings earlier today, where I talked about, man, Paris Johnson checks a whole lot of boxes, and he just has tremendous upside. You can come in and you could get that answer for that left tackle, right tackle position, wherever the heck you want to play him. So, cool with that there. The Patriots, I've played with a variety of different players here, like Brian Branch, Lucas Van Ness. I'm just going to go ahead and grab them an outside corner. Could make the case for Peter Skoronski, but Joey Porter, get them outside corner with legit outside corner size. And the Green Bay Packers, to be fair, Lucas Van Ness just feels like a good fit. He could replace like Jaron Reed, Dean Lowry, where they were playing that like inside 4 tech, with also having outside capabilities. Remember, like Lucas Van Ness primarily played 3 tech in 2021, so this is a cat that's got some versatility to him. So I think that ends up being a good pick for the Packers. And thus far, man, this is an interesting looking mock. It's about to look a bit more interesting because we're gonna have a big trade down here, as we're gonna have the Kansas City Chiefs move up. Haven't really played a ton with Kansas City moving up big, but this is I feel like they moved up last year exceptionally well with the Patriots, and I feel like they could do a similar thing here. I think it would just involve a bit more of an interesting trade. Yeah. See, I'm looking to I'm looking at the Minnesota Detroit Lions trade in 2021 for reference of what to do here. And honestly, it looks like this is the trade. Because it looks like a lot, but you're moving up 15 spots. So let's go ahead, force that sucker through. So Washington snags pick 31, pick 63, pick 95, pick 134. While the Chiefs get to move up to 16, and they also basically give away their second rounder, but they basically keep their third rounder by just moving down a couple of spots. So what are they moving up for? Why would they make this move? It's for the same thing I did last time when I did this with the Chiefs. We're gonna go with Broderick Jones. I think he's got a ton of upside, like a legit metric ton of upside. You want to kind of get it out in front with, like, let's be honest, tackles. We didn't expect them to slide. Like, we kind of anticipate a tackle taking a 13, but also you kind of anticipated tackles going at 11, maybe even 9. You don't expect here at night or at 16, right in front of the Steelers, mind you, that, oh wow, are you telling me only one of the top 3 tackles are off the board? Yeah, let's make this move. And maybe like Broderick Jones, you keep Jawan Taylor on the right side, or maybe you really want Taylor to be over at left tackle, which Jones, I think you'd be fine at right anyway. Now, this one's interesting for the Steelers. Follow me on this. You might be like, all right, well, tackles are already starting to come off the board, so maybe make that jump here. And I'm like, maybe not. Because Joey Porter's off the board, so you can make a case, oh, do they dip into the remainder of this corner class? And I'm going to do something a little, I don't think it's that far-fetched, but I do believe Nolan Smith is going to be a top 20 player. Alex Highsmith is at the end of his rookie deal. So just keep that pass rush a strength. Let Highsmith hit free agency. I don't know, man. Y'all let me know what you think, Steelers fans. Detroit. This one was a tough one. I really contemplated about going with Peter Skoronski, just keep it a strength to strength, you know, and have him fill in wherever, but I feel really good about the offensive line there for the Lions. I don't feel like that they need to go there. We took Tyree Wilson. Do we take a corner here? That was a thought, but you know what? I just kept with the defensive line. I think Brian Brazee, there we go. His best football is in front of him. Paired him up next to Ali McNeil, I think would be huge. I think this is already an upgrade over Levi Wuzarike. So you just immediately improve that defensive line after kind of improving the secondary via free agency. All right, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This one was kind of a no-brainer for me. Peter Skoronski, a guy that could really fit whatever they want. If they want to move Tristan Wirfs to or to left tackle, then Skoronski could be right tackle. If they don't, then Skoronski could be left tackle. He could be left guard. He could do a lot of different things. Just a good football player for this squad. Seattle Seahawks. I'm so used to Jackson Smith and Jigba being here that I'm a bit taken back. I kind of wish I thought about going Zay Flowers, but at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? Well, here, let me pull up what their offensive line currently looks like. You might be like, what? We got freaking Charles Cross, Abraham Lucas, and then I'm like, is like, You got Phil Hayes. Like, you bring him back on a cheap 1-year deal. Evan Brown's your center. That's not exactly great. And then Damian Lewis, I believe, is on his last year of his deal. So I'm gonna go ahead and snag. Where you at? Osiris Torrance. Just make sure that offensive line is perfect for not just Geno, but Kenneth Walker. Okay, and then right here for the Chargers, another one that's kind of a no-brainer. I think this is a receiving core that needs speed. Zay Flowers brings that 4.42 speed to town. So you kind of get that in the mix there for the Chargers. Baltimore Ravens. I was thinking about trading down, and I couldn't find a team to really trade up with me, so I went ahead and took Deonte Banks for the Ravens here. I feel like that's a solid pick. Corner. Marcus Peters, a free agent. They need more outside corners. Banks, very good athlete, so I thought it added up. We got the Eagles. This is technically their first pick since they moved down with the Vikings. And I'm just going to grab a player that I love them taking in my boy, Adetomiwa Adebari. He measures out better than Kalijah Kancey. He tested out better than Kalijah Kancey. And don't let that ED, that edge, fool you. I think he could be an interior player. Some people be like that he kind of reminds people of Milton Williams. But I'm pretty darn confident that Adebari's testing numbers were far better than Milton Williams. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars. This kind of feels like the best pick. Brian Branch, because you got kind of this big open wide spot at slot corner. And Brian Branch being available here is just like, feels like easy money. Jordan Addison, I'm not 100% sold on as a first rounder, especially if I'm the Giants. And at the end of the day, I'd rather take a shot at the corner position because it just feels like the Giants don't have a ton of outside corners. And the ones that they do have that play the outside either have suboptimal length or suboptimal size. So we're going to go ahead and grab Cam Smith here for the Giants. All right. Dallas Cowboys. Fun fact, I couldn't really figure out I couldn't figure out what to do for them here. Some people probably be like offensive line, but it's like I don't know. I really don't. So I ended up just trading back. Feel like that might be the best case scenario based on how Dallas has, or at least their approach to this offseason. I feel like they could trade back and get good value, get good future capital. So this is actually Washington moving back up with this pick, and I believe I took this from the 193. Yeah, let's go with that one. It's a little more simplistic. All right, and Eric Bieniemy, he's out here running the offense. Let's get him a true receiving threat at tight end. We're going to snag Dalton Kincaid. All right, I got the Buffalo Bills here, and I think they go offensive line. I think they go tackle here. I think their tackle position, at least the right tackle, Spencer Brown, they love, like, he came in and tested as a freak for the position, just really hasn't done well. So maybe they go with Dwan Jones, who's another guy who was just kind of a freak for the position. The Bengals, I actually kind of like the idea of them getting just a solid tight end here. And Michael Mayer, hometown boy too, so that's kind of cool. Myles Murphy's a no-brainer here for the, I think for the, what do you call them? The New Orleans Saints here. Just gotta move this up real quick. I think that's a bit of a no-brainer. Their pass rush. Oh no, they were the top 5 in sacks. They were in the bottom 4 of pressures. Just because your team probably matched as much sacks as they did pressures, just the few times they happen to get pressure, they happen to get sacks, doesn't mean your team's good at consistently putting pressure on the quarterback. So Myles Murphy, versatile body type, I think is going to test out very well at his private pro day. The Eagles, I thought about maybe moving out of this one, but this is a team that likes to keep a strength of strength. Cam Jurgens, I'm not entirely positive. Like, okay, they could run him at what, right guard? Is that where Smalu was playing? Yeah, because they got Dickerson at left guard. Maybe they just keep Jurgens as the heir apparent to Kelsey, and they snag a guy like Steve Avila, who I think is really flying up boards and needs to get talked more about as this like fringe first rounder, who actually has center capabilities as well. So I don't know. I feel like this is what the Eagles do. They keep a strength a strength. They draft these positions a year before it became before that they become needs. If that makes sense. Dallas, I decided not to make a pick for Dallas. I just honestly I couldn't figure out what to really get them. So I did one final trade. I actually did it with the Steelers here. Since they're both like just trading one pick for the other. I had the Steelers just kind of throw in. Let me see the back end trade here. If they're in this 120. That's probably about all that they needed. So the Dallas, you get another pick for moving back. Good on y'all. But I think the Steelers would be wise to try to move up after getting Nolan Smith. It's like you kind of see some of these offensive tackles come off the board. Maybe they want to get their guy. I swear, Mike Tomlin loves DeJuan Jones and Darnell Wright, just the guys he was checking out at the Senior Bowl. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to snag Darnell Wright here for the Steelers, and that's it. That's my draft. It was kind of wild. Like some of the trades, some of the picks. Like I said, man, if you think this mock draft sucks, blame it on me being sick. But Nolan Smith to the Steelers was something I was like, oh man, I'm not against that. I'm not against that at all. The Eagles moving back, and honestly, I thought getting 2 solid picks in Avila and Adibari. Steelers moving back up and to get a second pick. Yeah, let me know what you think. Washington moving all around. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do your YouTube thing as always. Until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.